So charts and graphs in an executive resume, yay or nay? I get asked by a lot of executive level job seekers, can I include some sort of visual aid in my resume such as a chart or a graph? And typically, because most executive jobs are not located online and therefore the resume is written for an actual human, then visuals within this type of file can be quite beneficial. Obviously when done correctly and with a couple of caveats in mind. So for regular job seekers that are not at the executive level considering charts or graphs and who may be applying through an applicant tracking system, these systems cannot always read or properly translate the information within a chart or a graph, so it's not always recommended at that level. But at the executive level, like I mentioned, this isn't always the case, and therefore a chart or a graph is something that you can certainly consider. Now you only want to put a chart or a graph in your resume that's adding value to the file, meaning you don't want it to be a distraction. You don't want it to be too gaudy, you don't want to be maybe too many of them, you don't want it to be too small and difficult to read. Really consider your audience and how, maybe they might receive that type of information and what the best way is to house that type of graphic within the file itself. And finally, don't just add a chart or a graph simply for the sake of doing so. You really want to make sure you have the right details or metrics that deserve that type of presentation within the file. Again, the whole purpose of adding a chart or a graph is to add value to the overall file itself. You don't want it to be a large distraction or to take away from your overall application. So consider some of these strategies when you're putting together your executive resume, and certainly consider different ways that you can make key content pop off the page.